Donald Trump's administration is cutting another $450 million in grants to Harvard University a day after the Ivy League school pushed back against government allegations that it's a hotbed of liberalism and antisemitism. In fact, in a letter to Harvard on Tuesday, a federal anti-Semitism task force said Harvard will lose grants from 8 federal agencies in addition to $2.2 billion that was previously frozen by the Trump administration. The letter categorically said that Harvard has become a breeding ground for virtue signaling and discrimination and faces a steep uphill battle to reclaim its legacy as a place of academic excellence. By the way, hours after the latest cuts, Harvard filed a legal challenge to several sanctions imposed by the Trump administration in recent weeks. But for further clarity on this, we have an alumni of the Harvard University joining us live on NDTV. Richard Painter is with us. He's also a law professor at the University of Minnesota Law School. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. Trump's team has argued that there's a dark problem on Harvard's campus, and by prioritizing appeasement over accountability, institutional leaders have actually forfeited the school's claim to taxpayer support. As an alumni, take us through what's going on beyond the political rhetoric and also the reactions to this latest cut.
Well, what we see is that the Trump administration targets specific universities that it doesn't like, law firms it doesn't like, law firms that represented political opponents of the president, and so forth. And this is part of that broader pattern. There are definitely issues we need to deal with in higher education in the United States, including anti-Semitism, racism, a lot of issues we need to deal with in all of our universities. There's nothing unique about Harvard in that respect. Harvard is a very wealthy university, and we have many universities that don't have as much money. Certainly Congress would be justified in treating the wealthiest universities differently from a tax perspective than those that don't have as much. But to target one particular university or a handful of universities for political reasons is not appropriate. And I don't think that the Trump administration is going to win these cases. A lot of contracts were entered into by Harvard University that are enforceable contracts, and the government can't back out. If the government doesn't want to award new contracts, that's a different issue, and the Trump administration might be able to get away with that. But once again, this is an approach which is highly selective, saying, well, we're going to target Harvard and not the University of Chicago or other well-known universities, and it appears to be political retribution. At some point, I think Congress is going to want to tell the president, we need to deal with the issues in higher education. The cost of higher education in the United States is astronomical. And we have a lot of underfunded universities throughout the United States as well. But this type of political stunt is not going to help anybody.
In fact, Harvard has filed a legal challenge to several sanctions imposed by Trump's team in recent weeks. But thank you so much, Mr. Painter, as always, for making time for us and joining us on NDTV.